Hello, my name is Kelly McCown. I'm the teacher, author, and owner of Teaching Math and More LLC. Today on the Teaching Math and More channel, we are talking about 3 math tests that matter and how to measure and assess your students in a meaningful way. It is part of our math test prep series that will give you tips, strategies, and resources to develop a math test plan to meet the needs of all your students. You will learn how to help your students earn higher scores this year. The purpose of this video series is to help you, the math teacher, do less work doing the wrong things by instead using the best strategies for test prep to help your students earn higher results in math. Grab your video notes. We are on page 7 today. If you don't have the notes, you can grab them in the description of this video. Today we are going to talk about 3 math tests that matter and how to use them in the planning stage. In the last video, we talked about the 3 parts of math test prep. 1, plan, having a plan for test prep. 2, practicing. And 3, evaluating. Today we're going to talk about planning. Part 1 of the math test prep plan is to have a plan. You create a plan to have a place for student growth. You need a plan to help your students get to their desired goal. What do you want your students to accomplish? Make a plan on how you will achieve it. In the description of this video is a free math test prep planner for you to get started. Here are some of the things that you need to include in your math test prep plan. First, diagnostic testing. Find out what skills your students know and inform your planning process. Second, practicing math skills, key vocabulary terms, and formulas that will be on the end of your math test. Lastly, evaluating. Plan for a day of practice testing in class to get your students comfortable with the testing situation. Let's look at 3 tests that matter now. There are only 3 tests that truly matter and will show your students' growth. These 3 tests that matter are the diagnostic test given in August or September, a mid-year test given in December or January, and the end-of-year test given in April or May. Let's look at the first test. A diagnostic math test is the perfect baseline assessment to see what students know and don't know yet. It's a great resource of student data to keep in a student's file portfolio for parent conferences, to show growth from the beginning of the year to the end, and to show the guidance counselor results that could be used to move them to a different class or grade level. Diagnostic math tests can and should be administered any time during the first semester. A mid-year math test is an excellent way to assess how students' knowledge from the first half of the school year. A mid-year assessment is a great resource of student data to keep in a student's file portfolio for parent conferences, to show growth from the beginning of the year to the middle, or to use for math test prep, as in this situation. Mid-year math tests can be administered anytime during December, January, or before testing season. An end-of-year math test is the best way to measure an entire school year. The end-of-year math assessment is a great resource of student data in that it reviews the entire year's curriculum to show growth from beginning to end with this one summative assessment. The results can be shared with parents, administration, and to show the guidance counselor results that could be used to place your student in next year's math class. End-of-year math tests can be administered anytime during April, May, or June, preferably at the second half of the school year. First, measuring knowledge is the key in knowing if your students have grown. Measuring shows growth. Don't be afraid to measure your students' growth from the beginning of the year to the end. Your administrators love seeing the growth you have given your students. Second, you can't improve if you don't know what skills have been mastered and what you need to reteach or review. You can't improve if you don't know what needs improving. Let's say that again. You can't improve if you don't know what needs improving. So find out what your students need to know and if they know it. Lastly, using just 3 math skills tests can make the difference and create a foundation for your students to show growth upon. Don't be afraid to use a data tracker to keep and share your data with colleagues in administration. The data tracker is on page 13 of your video notes. Grab the video notes using the link in the description of this video. There is a solution to the problem of which test you should use to measure student growth with data. The solution is threefold. Use the 3 tests that matter: a diagnostic, a mid-year test, and an end-of-year assessment. Try teaching with a plan in place to practice grade level math skills and evaluate your students' skills before testing day to ensure success. Grab the Guide to Math Test Prep notes for this video series today. It's a 5-part video series about how to prep for the end of year math test. Each quick 6-minute video will give you tips, strategies, and resources to develop a math test plan to meet the needs of all your students. Learn how to help your students earn higher scores this school year. Included are the on-demand video notes, testing letter to kids and parents, list of practice tools, vocabulary card templates, set of word problems for practice, data tracker, and more. Get clear on how to help your students ace the math test this year. For more information about the Math Test Prep video series, be sure to check out the description of this video. Thank you for subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you next time for part 3 of the Math Test Prep series.